Welcome to the Veranda on this chilly afternoon. My guest today is Mr. Ken Moody, our candidate for Shelby County Mayor. Welcome to the Veranda.
Well, thank you for having me on the veranda, Miss Barksdale. It's good to be here on this chilly
On
afternoon.
this chilly afternoon. So today, as you know, I'm meeting with candidates because I want the audience to get a more personable view of the candidate, get to know him a little better. He's going to answer some questions, and I'm going to throw a few questions out there that might not be on channel whatever, but they're questions that I know the public wants to know. So sit back and enjoy and vote for Ken Moody. Mr. Moody, tell me a little bit about your background.
Well, Miss Barksdale, I'm a native Memphian. I'm the youngest of 11 kids. I grew up in a single-parent family. My mother raised me and my brothers and sisters in a little modest South Memphis home. I'm a graduate of Carver High School, a husband of 30 years to my wife, Gwen. We've got 3 beautiful daughters, Jasmine, Kendra, and Reba. Former Memphis State Tiger basketball player, played for the former Larry Finch. Worked in city government now for 20 years. I worked for 13 years for former Mayor Willie Harrington in various positions. And now I serve as Special Assistant to Mayor Jim Strickland, again in various positions, but again it's given me an opportunity to serve, be a public servant, and do what I like doing, and that is serving our citizens of Shelby County.
And actually get a first-hand look at how it works.
It does. My 13 years I learned in working for Mayor Harrington, it taught me the ins and outs of government. It taught me how each government division operates and what that responsibility is in serving our citizens. This role I've got with Mayor Strickland now is more of, again, working hands in hand, meeting with neighborhood people like yourself, making sure I'm in touch and in tune with the issues and the concerns of our community, so I know how to talk with the mayor about what those issues are and how we can address them collectively.
What prompted you to run for mayor?
You know, again, I've worked in government for 20 years. I've had an opportunity for a front row seat in this role as special assistant to the mayor. And this is a county mayor's race, Ms. Barksdale, so it's inclusive of all of Shelby County. But in my role in working for Mayor Strickland, I've got a front row seat, and I've seen the challenges Memphis faced. And one of the biggest challenges Memphis faced is a good partner and a representative in the county mayor's office. There's so many issues that this city faces. Again, it's a county race, but Memphis is 2/3 of Shelby County. And so if I've had a chance to witness how there's been a lack of representation from the county mayor's office for Memphis, I'm certain, and I've found this to be true, that that same lack of representation is in the suburbs as well too. And so now I've got an opportunity to, again, to take my 20-year experience, take and learn from what I've heard from people. Throughout this campaign, even before I decided to run, I talk with people. I travel this county to listen to people, have them tell me what their issues are, talk with them and what they'd like to see in a leader, and everything they've said to me they like to see in a leader, I possessed. And so that's why I'm running for Shelby County Mayor.
And something I just heard you mention is the fact that you talk to people. And it's more personable as opposed to people listening to you talk.
Right.
And that's something that a lot of candidates are lacking right now. They want to talk. They want to tell you this. They want to talk and then don't do nothing. So that's a good thing that you're talking. What accomplishments are you most proud of in your journey in government?
I've stayed connected to our communities. I've listened, and I've been effective, and I've been able to be a voice in this community. So there are many, many accomplishments. I'll tell you one, the Church of God in Christ Convention. You know, this is the home for Church of God in Christ, and some years ago they left. When Mayor Strickland got in office, he tasked me to say, hey, whatever we can do, let's work to bring this convention back to Memphis. And 2 years ago, we were able to do that. I worked real closely with Bishop Brandon Porter, now the new presiding bishop, J. Drew Sheard. We worked very closely together to make sure that they felt welcome and they felt like we wanted them back. The sanitation workers, when we honored them in MLK 50, they were awarded a $50,000 grant. That came about when the mayor asked me to brainstorm with some individuals to think about how can we honor these 13 surviving sanitation workers. We could never repay them, but what could we do? And from my conversations with a couple of leaders in the city, there came up the $50,000 grant that each of them received. And so I'm so proud of that. But many other things, working with churches, working with neighborhood people, staying in touch and in tune and involved in this community and helping move Memphis forward by bringing people together.
How will becoming mayor create opportunities for Shelby County?
Because I'm going to listen. I mean, I have listened. I know the opportunities that are wanted from Shelby Countyans. I know what it takes to get there. And so because I'm a uniter, I know how to bring people together, cross racial lines, cross social economical lines, because I know what it takes. I know what the challenges are. And I know I don't have all the answers myself, but I do know the people like yourself that we can bring together and we can all brainstorm and talk about what the issues are. We all want the same thing. We all want to live in a safe environment, a safe community, a clean community. We want our kids to be educated. We want grocery stores in our community. We want nice, affordable housing in our community. We all want the same thing. And so I'm equipped and prepared to bring people again from cross sections together to talk about how we all accomplish that.
Something I mentioned to you earlier that you questioned me about how could this be done. I think something similar to having people meet with, I'm not talking about politicians, but just people that are active in their community, have a round table at least once a month with city government to express concerns. I'm not talking about county commission, I'm not talking about city council. I'm talking about meeting one-on-one at a round table with the mayor from different neighborhoods to discuss various problems involving that particular neighborhood. I think that makes it more relatable to the constituents if they know they have someone that there's an open door policy that they can deal with and talk to.
Yeah, in my administration, Ms. Barksdale, we're going to have that open door policy, and we're going to do that by having quarterly meetings in the community with me being there, not sending a representative, but me being there myself with my team and listening to what the issues are in the community, because no one knows better the issues than those of you that live in the community.
Right.
But again, I'm not going to send someone. You're going to see me there listening so I can get firsthand, and I don't have to worry about somebody misinterpreting the message and bringing it back to me.
That's right.
I listen and hear it myself, and then I gather with my team and say, okay, we've heard it. Now how do we work together to provide that service?
What is your plan to unite Shelby Countyans around core issues of crime, education, jobs, and affordable housing?
First with crime. Crime is a Shelby County problem. It's no longer just a Memphis problem.
You think?
My plan is to get the sheriff, get the police chief from Memphis, the police chief from all the municipalities together and say, let's sit down and talk quarterly. And let's sit down and meet with citizens quarterly, and let's develop a plan for Shelby County, a crime plan for Shelby County, because it used to be crime was just a Memphis problem. Now it has festered. It's out in the suburbs now. And those residents out there understand that, and now is the time, it's right to bring us all together to talk about a crime. Yeah, law enforcement is the police and sheriff's responsibility. Crime is all of our responsibility. And as your mayor, I'm going to lead that. Education. We've got to do better in preparing our kids for the future. We've got to also change that conversation where every kid's got to go to college. There are many other opportunities for our children to be the profession for themselves. There's trade schools. There are many other opportunities for them to earn an honest living and be proud about the career that they have. And so we've got to, again, prepare our kids. We've got to, meet with the superintendent and the leaders of Shelby County Schools and see how we can do more than just give them money to fund the schools. What after-school programs can we help with? What organizations can we partner with to make sure that when those kids leave school, there is some continuation of that education that will help them be successful and be prepared for careers. And that helps our educated workforce. When you've got a good education system, you got your wraparound services, then those kids, those young adults are prepared to take on jobs to provide a living for their families.
And I think that's admirable, but I do feel some concern where they took a lot of technical classes out of the school system.
That's right.
That would help some of these kids. Like, you don't have to go to college.
Right.
I mean, it's a good thing. Kudos to everybody that went.
Right.
But everybody can't do that.
That's right.
And everybody might be good at something that somebody that went to college is not good at.
Right.
So I would like to see more vocational classes brought back to Memphis City Schools.
And that's important. When I was in school, and I'm dating myself, we had VOTEC. You know, I remember taking shop and home ec and those kinds of things. So we do, and again, that gives our kids more options. And it also, Ms. Barksdale, don't make them feel like they're a failure if they don't go to college. You know, so this gives them more options, and we've got to get back to that, and we've got to do all we can to support Shelby County Schools, support our teachers. You know, when our teachers have to use their salaries to buy school supplies, that's unacceptable. So we've got to do more to support our teachers, but we've got to, again, collectively sit down. As I would bring the law enforcement people together, I would respectfully ask the school system to bring their team together, and let's sit down and talk about how we can work together to better prepare our children.
Great answers. Moving forward, here goes some questions that you're not going to be asked on TV. You know I had to put a little spin on it. Your campaign recently shared documents alleging Mayor Harris and his team threatened to sue the city of Memphis during the pandemic. Why would you release this information, and what do you think it says about Mayor Harris?
Well, the document didn't allege it. The document spoke for itself.
Well, I had to say alleged.
Yeah, I got you, and I get that, but the document clearly stated that if we as a city didn't cease certain operations, that there was potential lawsuits that would happen. So the document speaks to that and says that. I think what that shows is that there's a lack of willingness to work together. This pandemic was something that no one entity could handle by themselves. Right. Even when the state came in and said, city, you take over, we didn't do it by ourselves. We included hospitals, we included law enforcement, we included the county, the health department. It was one of those areas that needed all hands on deck. Everybody. You know, and so the letter clearly states how there wasn't that willingness from the county mayor's side to work with everybody. There was a willingness to want to do it all in themselves and to get all the credit, but there wasn't that willingness to accept responsibility for the failure. And so what we did, we released that because we wanted to show the challenges that it's been, I mean, even with the county commissioner. There have been challenges with that administration to work with his partners on the county commission who was elected just like he was to move that county forward. So for us, it's an example of the type of leadership that's not conducive, not positive, if we really want to bring people together and move this county forward. So the campaign released it because we wanted to, again, show and identify what that lack of leadership shown and what real leadership that I would do would be. And that is understanding when you've got a huge undertaking like crime, like the pandemic, you got to work together to solve it.
You did very well on that. Get a star for that. Why do you think voters should vote for you for Shelby County Mayor?
Because I'm engaged and in touch with the community, and I've always been. For 20 years, I've worked in this community. I'm from this community. But also, more important than being from this community, Ms. Barksdale, I'm of this community. Right? You can be from it and move off and never come back. And you can be from it and still be here and never go back. Right? I'm of this community. I never left. I'm the youngest of 11 kids. I still got sisters and brothers that live in these communities that are struggling, nieces and nephews that are struggling. So I'm personally attached to this community. In my whole career, I've been involved in the community, but more important for me, my faith in God. You know, my faith in God keeps me committed to service, a life of service. This is job as a public servant, but we're all servants of God. And so why they should vote for me, they get a faith, a God-fearing Christian man that will serve and understands that I'm being held accountable by the good Lord. Not by man, but by the good Lord. And when I accept a role and responsibility to do a job, I do it, and I do it in honor of glorifying God. And so they will get from me a 20-year experienced citizen, a 20-year experienced government employee, a father and a husband, someone of this community, but more important, a God-fearing servant that understand I'm here to serve.
And my friend, Ken Moody. Yeah. I'm asking everybody to support Ken Moody's campaign. It's time for a change. Thank you, Mr. Moody.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for
Hope
having
you
me.
enjoyed your visit.
I did.
You're welcome back anytime.
Thank you.
When you win, you're welcome back.
I'll be back when I win. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.